Hello, and welcome back to Steven Show's Myah Movies, the podcast title that explains itself.
Yeah, so we don't need to explain it, so don't stop asking.
Yeah, so...
None of you are asking, but, you know.
Today, we're going to be talking about Jaws.
Dun.
Yes. And it's, exciting because we haven't, reviewed a movie that wasn't comedy. So yep. This is going to be new.
Mm-hmm.
A little new.
A new movie for us, because this one came out in 1975.
Yeah, it's an old one. It was 2 hours.
Mm-hmm.
2 hours long?
2 hours.
It was pretty good. I have never seen it before, and I feel like it's still a good movie.
But you've seen the trailer a billion times, though, so...
I did see the trailer a billion times because I worked in a haunted house, and I was in a haunted theater, and they just kept playing the Jaws theme music and trailer over and over again while I was there. So I was sitting there for 5 hours just listening to the trailer, so I could pick out the pieces that I knew. But anyway, so this movie starts with the sheriff coming into town.
Chief Brody
comes into this beach. It's an island, I think.
Yeah, Amity Island.
It's a vacation destination for the summer.
Seems it. Yep.
Beach. Lots of people come there. And a lot of the townspeople's income is based on summer tourism.
Mm-hmm.
So this, I think actually the movie starts out with a party at the beach. I think.
Oh right, the whole beginning. It's 2 hours ago. We're sleepy now.
Yeah, we just watched the movie. So it starts with a party at the beach, and there's all these kids. They're drinking, and then there's this guy makes eye contact with this girl.
1970s parties.
Yeah, unnamed characters, and the girl they talk for 5 seconds, and we don't hear what they say, and then the girl just starts running away, which is kind of random. And then the guy's like, "Where are we going?" And she's like, "We're gonna swim." And then she just completely strips down naked, and I was not expecting that, naked,
Mm-hmm.
And then she jumps into the water, but the guy's drunk, so he's trying to get off his clothes, but he can't, and then he just falls face first into the sand and goes to bed.
Yep.
And she's in the water, and then we get this angle from the shark under the water,
mm-hmm.
and you can literally see her completely naked. It's
all of the stuff.
And it's funny because the rating's PG-13. No, just
PG,
but there's
somehow 1975 was a different time.
And then she dies because the shark kills her.
She get murdered,
and the way she dies was really weird. She was spun around in a circle, and then she goes "ow," and I was like, "What?" That's the noise you make when you get attacked by a shark. Ow, that hurts. And then so she dies, and then the next morning, the sheriff is called.
Mm-hmm. Because the guy calls in and is like, "Hey, this girl went someplace. I don't know."
Oh, yeah, the guy who the girl was, coming into the water with me. He was like, "Oh, yeah, the girl went missing. I haven't seen her. She must have drowned."
Mm-hmm.
And then the sheriff goes to the beach with the guy, and I guess another sheriff's there, or another...
I think,
another police member is there.
Yeah, something.
And they found her body washed on shore, completely, destroyed.
Mm-hmm. All shark eaten up and... That wasn't a sentence. And the
sheriff, he knows that it's a shark attack. He's like, "Oh, this has to be a shark attack." So he's writing up his report, but then, the mayor or, the board of the town come
mm-hmm.
in, and they're like, "Oh, no, dude, don't... It's not a shark attack. It's just a boating accident."
It's fine. Don't worry about it.
If you say shark attack, no one's going to want to go into the water.
Yeah, it's going to cause a panic.
And if no one goes in the water, no one wants to come to the island, because that's the whole point.
No income for everyone, so...
And they're not making any money. So they're like, "Oh, please, just, this happens sometimes. There's no... It's not... We don't know for sure that it's a shark attack, so we'll just say it's a boating accident." Because
mm-hmm.
it was also 4th of July weekend is coming up,
mm-hmm.
and that's, the biggest moneymaker for them.
Mm-hmm.
And so he's like, "Oh, okay, if you say so, okay." And so he signs off on it, and then...
I think he calls in the science man.
Oh, yeah,
Hooper.
He calls in, an oceanographer,
mm-hmm.
shark expert.
Yeah.
And so before they decide that it's not, before he changed it to a boating accident.
The boat attacked her.
But he had already called the shark expert.
Yeah.
So the next scene is the shark expert coming into town, and
at that point, everyone's trying to go search if it was actually a shark or not.
Oh no, wait. There was a beach. Everybody's at the beach, and then the little boy in the raft gets killed.
Was that before that?
Yeah, because then
because then it becomes an actual
yeah.
Oh,
okay,
this is a shark.
So then there's everything's normal. The guy's like, okay, like, we won't close the beach because it's a boating accident.
Just a boat propeller. Oh, no.
And then it's a normal day at the beach, and everyone's in the water.
And Chief Brody is sitting back, all worried, because he still thinks it's a shark.
He's really paranoid, and then a shark attack ends up happening to this kid on a raft. And it's really, like, bloody. I was shocked.
There was a lot of blood in that kid.
Yeah, there's a lot of blood in the movie. Like, the water was red, and it was, like, kind of gory, but, yeah, it was just kind of gory. Mm-hmm. And then, so everyone's, like, running out of the water, and then they're like, oh, it's really a shark attack. And the guy's like, or the woman's like, oh, $3,000 to anyone who can kill a shark that killed my son. Mm-hmm. And the next scene is, like, the oceanographer's coming to town while all these, like, guys are getting ready to go out onto the...
Amateur fishermen.
Yeah, amateur fishermen are getting ready to go out to hunt the shark.
With lousy fishing poles.
Yeah.
Dynamite.
yeah, with dynamite. And then, so the oceanographer comes in, and the sheriff talks to him, and he ends up showing him the body of the first girl. Mm-hmm. And the oceanographer is like, oh, this is definitely, like, a big shark. Mm-hmm. And this is definitely a shark, not a boating accident. Mm-hmm. Like, it's a shark. So that confirmed it. And then the next, like, when they're leaving the autopsy room, the fishermen just, like, they caught a giant shark. Yep. And they're like, oh, we caught the shark. Like, we're all good. And the sheriff's so excited. He's like, oh, like, we don't have to worry about this anymore. Like, the shark was caught. And there's all this commotion. And then the newspaper's there. And they want to take a picture of, like, the fisherman that caught the shark. And all while this is happening, the oceanographer, what was his name?
Hooper? That's his last name.
Hooper.
Yeah.
Hooper's, like, measuring the circumference of the shark's, like, jaw. Mm-hmm. And he's like, guys, this is not the shark.
This ain't it.
It's not the right shark. But the mayor's like, no, just shush. Like, don't worry.
About it.
Like, it's, I don't know if you can tell by now, but the mayor's, like, profit-driven. He does not care about the welfare of anyone else. Mm-hmm. What happened? I just lost my train of thought.
So they find out that it's a tiger shark, because the oceanographer Hooper is like, this is a tiger shark, but I don't think the mouth is big enough. So then, later on, I believe, they then go to the beach.
I guess. Oh, they close? No, they don't even.
They don't close it just yet, because they need, like, a second encounter with a shark.
Yeah, they were trying.
Oh, wait, no. That's when the mother of the young boy comes up and smacks.
Oh, yeah. She slaps the sheriff across the face, and she's like, because she found out that he knew that there had been a shark attack.
Prior,
but he still let people go into the water, and then her son ended up dying. Mm-hmm. So that was that scene. And then the oceanographers...
We cut to Chief Brody at his home.
Oh, yeah, and he's depressed.
He's all like, oh, no, I should have done something.
Because the lady was right. Yeah, so... But then the oceanographer comes to his house and it's like, oh, like, let's go find this... Like, let's go confirm that shark that they caught was the actual shark. Mm-hmm. By cutting open... Because he said that the digestive system of a shark is very slow. So if you cut it open, you'll see what's inside. Mm-hmm. So the sheriff's like, okay. So they go find the shark that was caught and they cut it open. And there's...
Just trash
There's just
there.
Fish and trash inside. And the oceanographer's like, Hooper's like, yeah, this is not the right shark. So then he ends up going out on a boat with the sheriff to try and track down the shark. Mm-hmm. And they're not really getting anything. But then all of a sudden,
they come across
the equipment like lights up, and they're like, oh, there's something this way. So then they follow it, and they come across this little boat. And they're like, oh, that's a fishing boat.
I know that guy. Yeah. I know the guy whose boat that is.
And then, for some reason, like, Hooper's like, I'm going to get in the water. Yeah. Even though there's, like, a killer shark out there. He's like, I'm going to go get in the water. So then he jumps into the water. And he goes into the boat. And he sees, like, the boat's kind of destroyed. Mm-hmm. And he...
This is, like, half sunken.
Yeah. And, this scene, like, was weird to me because he has this giant flashlight. But the flashlight beam is so weak. Like, it literally looks like there's no difference in, like, lighting at all. Mm. But anyway, that's point. That's
Small
just
details.
That's just an observation. So he sees, like, this giant, like, hole in the ship. And he goes in and he spots, like, a tooth, like a shark tooth.
A giant shark tooth.
That was embedded into the hull of the ship. Mm-hmm. And he's, like, trying to examine it. And then all of a sudden, he's like, oh, there's something in there inside the hole. And then... like, the dead fisherman's head pops out that was in the boat.
Dead head.
And I jumped at the scene. I was not expecting that. And then, so he, like, he accidentally drops the shark tooth and, like, runs.
He drops everything.
Swims out of the water. And is freaked out. And then the next scene is they're talking to the mayor, and they're like, look, like, this shark has killed 2 people already. 3 people. Mm-hmm. And the mayor's like, well, you don't have a tooth. You don't know what it is.
You have no proof. I'm not gonna listen.
Yeah, and the guy's like, no, this is a great white shark. Like, I saw the tooth. But the mayor's like, nope, no proof. Like, we need the money. We're just gonna keep the beach open. Mm-hmm. So then everybody's back on the beach. And it's funny because no one's in the water. Because they know that there's a shark in the water, or like they're still freaked out. But
they know that bad things happen when people go in the water.
Exactly. And then the mayor comes up to this like random couple and is like, "Get in the water."
Get in the water.
He basically like forced them to get in the water, and they listen to him for some reason. Yeah. Which like he's just like a man. Like he has really no power over them.
Also, people are at the beach anyway, so like if they're in the water or not, what's the difference?
Yeah, that's the one thing I didn't understand. Like, they are paying to be on the beach, or like they're paying to stay in town, so the money for tourism is already there. Like you don't need to go in the water to actually have the doesn't really contribute money. Like the money's been spent, so that didn't really make sense.
Or will be spent at least because they're there enjoying the sand and the sun.
Exactly. So he like forces this random like family to go in the water.
Yeah.
And they go in the water, and then as soon as they like enter the water, everybody on the beach is like, "Oh, cool! Like one person's in the water, we'll go in the water too." Mm-hmm. So there's all these people that go into the water, and they're all playing around, and everyone's having fun, and the sheriff's son is like trying to get on this, like trying to boat with his friends, and he's like, no, don't boat in the ocean, go to the pond, like alcove area, because that's where the shark won't be, or something like that. And everybody's playing around the water, and then I guess the sheriff has like a helicopter and all these boats ready just in case the shark is spotted.
Some stuff.
And everything seems to be fine, but then we see the fin of a shark.
Dun, dun, dun.
And the beachgoers see it, and they start freaking out, and they're all like running to shore, and they're like, "Oh my god, shark!" And everyone's kind of trampling each other and freaking out, and then the sheriffs are like they're like, "Where do you see the shark?" Like they're radioing to each other on the boats, and they're like getting ready with their weapons. And it turns out that the shark fin was literally 2 boys.
Yeah, with like a plywood thing.
Yeah, they had like a makeshift fin, and they were like swimming around with it as a prank.
Idiots.
And it's funny because as they like come up for air, there's like all these guns pointed at them, and then the sheriffs are like, "Oh, what the hell, bro?" And then they pull the kids out. But while that's happening, this other girl is like looking.
She's painting or something.
She's painting like the pond alcove area, and then she actually sees another shark fin, and she's like, "Shark, shark, shark!" And she yells, and then so all the sheriffs, and then, the main sheriff, what was his name again? Brody. Brody's wife is like, "Our son's in the pond," and then Brody's like, "Oh, she is." And then he like sprints to the pond, and the shark's like gaining on like the boys in the boat. Yeah. And there's some guy that boats up to them.
"You guys all right? You guys doing well?"
Yeah.
And then he gets knocked over.
And then the shark knocks his boat over, and he sinks, and then the shark eats him, and there's just a graphic scene of just like his leg separated from the rest of his body floating down. Mm-hmm. Well, not floating down, sinking down. And the little boy, like, not Hooper's son, Brody's son, sees the guy die. So he's really freaked out. Mm-hmm. And they pull him to shore, and he's just, like, in shock. Yep. So they ended up bringing him to the hospital. And what happens after that? Then
the mayor comes to Brody in the hospital. He's like, "Oh, you're right. My family was on the beach there, and, I don't like that."
Yeah,
like, wow, what are you doing?
And he's like, "You're right. My family was on the beach that day, too. They were exposed to the shark." It's like, okay, you knew that there was a shark in the water. Why did, just seeing the shark all of a sudden change your mind? Mm-hmm. So he ends up signing the papers. Oh, right, because we forgot to mention there was a town hall after the initial little boy got killed. They had a town hall, and one of the fishermen in town was like, "Oh, I kill sharks for a living." So
well, at first he just crashes the chalkboard.
Yeah, and he was like, "Pay me $10,000 and I'll kill a shark." But the town kind of declined the offer. But then cut forward to what happened now after the mayor signed the papers. The papers was to hire the original fisherman to kill the shark for $10,000. Mm-hmm. And so the oceanographer Hooper and Brody go out to sea with the fisherman Quint to help kill the shark. Mm-hmm. And that's like the whole second half of the movie, basically.
Yeah.
Where they're just the three of them alone on this boat, and they're trying to catch the shark.
Mm-hmm.
And they have this method of like shooting like a harpoon gun into the shark with like a barrel attached to it that floats.
Yep.
So I guess they can see visually where the shark is.
Keep it like near the surface at the very least.
So the shark's
pretty strong.
But they end up shooting like 3 barrels into the shark, and Quint is like, oh, there's no way this guy is going to be able to like sink, like go dive down with 3 barrels, because I guess it's like a lot of like pull upwards.
Yeah, a lot of buoyancy.
And as soon as he said that, the shark dived under with the 3 barrels. But it's funny because the shark is like smart, so the shark is kind of like destroying the ship slowly. Mm-hmm. I don't know if it's intentional. The Quint says the shark was really smart, but so basically the shark is trying to sink the ship so he could eat them, essentially.
Yeah. Easier meal.
Yeah. So there's all these shenanigans where like the sheriff is like freaking out, so he tries to like radio in for more help, and then Quint comes in, the fisherman, and just takes a baseball bat and smashes the communication system, the radio system, which I was like, that is so random. I don't know why he did that.
Well, Quint's like really eager to just catch the shark, kill the shark, but he's like, I catch sharks, kill sharks, give me this one, because it's a massive 25-foot shark.
There's also like a kind of like a feud going on between the fisherman, Quint, and Hooper, the oceanographer,
which is interesting because Hooper was trying to tell the mayor, hey, I know what's up, let me like do this, and the mayor's like, no, you go away.
Yeah.
And then Hooper like does what the mayor did to him, but to Quint.
Yeah. So basically Quint has like more old-fashioned method, or like the fisherman style, and then Hooper has like all these newfangled like.
Quint is like street smart, whereas Hooper is book smart.
Yeah. And so Hooper has like all this equipment, like a shark cage and like this tranquilizer and like scuba gear, and Quint has like harpoon guns and just shotguns, stabby things, and so they kind of like are arguing back and forth a lot while they're on the ship together, because Hooper wants to do it his way, and then
Quint wants to do it his way.
And then the sheriff's just like, please,
I'll do whatever you guys do, okay? Just kill the thing.
And so the shark's kind of like slowly destroying the ship, and it ends up like, they end up like catching the shark with like, they don't catch the shark, but they get it on the rope attached, and they try and like hook it onto the ship.
They wrap it onto the stern.
And then the shark literally rips like the screwed down metal hooks that were into the ship off. Like the shark basically makes the ship look like really dilapidated, and like it was
looking nice when it was going out.
Yeah, it was nice. And then by the end it was like crumbling. Like it broke like the mast, like it broke like all these like pulleys, it broke the fishing line, it broke everything like so easily. So I guess the shark was very strong.
You guess?
Well, no, the shark is very strong. I found it a little hard to believe because I feel like the shark wasn't really that big, but I guess it was pretty big.
I mean, like, we'll get to it, but like...
That's true. Anyway,
I just motioned like a mouth thing. You'll understand in a minute.
So...
I mean, you've probably seen the movie, but still.
Yeah, so basically, the ship is like halfway sinking, and it's like tilted, so like the back end of the ship is sinking into the water, and the front end of the ship is kind of like lifted up, so it's like a slide.
Like the Titanic.
Yeah, it's like a slide almost. And the shark's like hanging out on the back end, like mouth open, and then there's the sheriff inside. Oh wait, we forgot. So basically, all the methods that the original guy, the fisherman, Quint had employed failed. So then they're finally like, okay, fine, we'll do it your way, Hooper. So then Hooper goes in with all the scuba gear in the shark cage and gets sent down to the bottom. But the shark cage looks so it seems so flimsy because the shark literally smashes through it easily. And it's crazy because Hooper's like stabbing the shark with like the bits of like broken off pieces of the cage, like metal pieces of the cage, and he stabs the shark a bunch of times, but barely does anything. And so he escapes and he swims down under the ocean, and then the two guys on top, the sheriff and Quint, haul up the shark cage, but there's no one inside. So it's like, oh man, I think he's gone.
Yeah.
And then that's when the shark kind of like jumps up and like lands in the back end of the boat, and it tilts like a slide. And the sheriff is like secured, like he's
He's holding on. He's like really.
He's
inside.
holding on, and he's trying to like grab for
Quint's
Quint,
hand.
but Quint couldn't grab on, and so he ends up sliding towards the shark's mouth. And the shark's mouth is like open, like chomping, and Quint's trying to like straddle the shark's mouth with his like legs, trying not to like fall into the shark's mouth. But then the shark just bites down on his leg and just
lots of blood.
Like it's very bloody, and like he just chews that fisherman up.
Mm-hmm.
And I guess he like, because he ate the fisherman, he like leaves a little bit. He kept coming back and like leaving the shark.
What?
Like, he ate the fisherman, and then he, like, left the boat and went down under again.
Yeah. Because he's like, oh, I was an appetizer. Now it's time for the chief.
Yeah, it kept happening. So he kind of left for a little bit, so the chief, like, was okay. And trying to get his bearings, but wait, what happened after that?
The chief was just going around trying to grab, like, any sort of, like, gun or whatnot. Right. And then it comes up into the canopy, or whatever you say.
Yeah.
The main area, where they have, like, the little discussion between them to all bond about scars.
Right.
And the chief is like, I got one. Oh, never mind. It's just for surgery. So I'm not cool.
Yeah. And then...
But he takes the air tank that was used as the scuba thing, and he throws it into the mouth of the shark.
Right, because earlier they said, like, the scuba tanks were kind of unsecured, and they were rolling around, and then Hooper was like, hey, watch it, those things, like, will explode. Mm-hmm. And so, I guess the sheriff's idea was he's going to throw the air tank into the shark's mouth. Mm-hmm. And then later on, he tries to shoot the tank in the shark's mouth so it will explode.
Yep.
And he succeeds.
He does.
And, of course, like, it's, like, the stereotypical, like, 3 or 4 shots he misses. Oh, no, the shark keeps getting closer and closer. And then the last shot, he finally gets in. Mm-hmm. The shark... It was a very, like, cool scene, but very gory. The shark literally explodes, and you can see the pieces of the shark flying, and there's just blood. And then the shark, like, pieces fly, and they land in the water, and then the shark body sinks. Yep. And there's just the water is just red. Just red. And then Hooper comes up from his hiding spot down below, and he sees the sheriff just hugging the mast, and he's like... Good job. Where's the fisherman? And the sheriff's like, no, didn't make it. No. And then they grab those 2 like floaty barrels, and then they just kick to shore.
Just like they did with Bernie and Weekend at Bernie's.
Yep. And that was the end of the movie. Mm-hmm. And it was pretty good.
There's one part, I mentioned it a little bit just now, but where they're talking to each other inside of the boat, just chatting, and then Quint goes on to talk about his time where the USS Indianapolis was sunk. And then he talks about all of the men who were eaten up by sharks. And it's a very good scene. Because it's just him telling you how it is and why he hates sharks so much. Which is why he didn't want anyone else to come and help. Because, like, I have a vendetta against sharks. I'm going to kill it. Okay? Yeah. And then he gets eaten by the thing he wants to destroy.
That's sad. Mm-hmm. I think I missed that explanation.
You were snoozing.
I was kind of falling asleep. But not because the movie was boring, but because I was just really tired because I was building a Lego set the night before. And I stayed up till 2 a.m. to do it.
You're welcome.
And then I had to wake up at 8:30 to go to work. But anyway, this is now... the summary is over, so now we're going to go into the Letterboxd review.
Review time. It's time for reviews.
Woo! Okay, so Jaws received a 4.0 on Letterboxd, which is actually pretty high.
Very nice.
Compared to the other movies that we watched.
Yeah, the other ones are more comedy-based, and this one's more story-driven, because it's Steven Spielberg.
Yeah, the other ones kind of received like a 3.
Yeah, which is to be expected, sort of.
Not everyone's cup of tea, but I guess overall people seem to like Jaws.
Yeah, well, it's shot very, very well. There's a bunch of
there's some really cool cinematography
where it's
moments.
Just them going through a scene once without any cuts or anything.
There's no cuts. Very nice. There's also a scene where there's like a dolly zoom on the sheriff.
Beautiful Zolly.
When it's like when the boy on the raft gets eaten, and it just cuts to the sheriff, and the sheriff's like, "Oh shit." and it has a dolly zoom, and it was like really cool. It was a really cool effect.
One of the best ones.
Yeah, it was really nice. And yeah, it was, and the practical, I think it was mostly practical effects. I feel like I read that somewhere.
Yeah.
I'm never, like, this is my first time seeing Jaws, but I remember hearing that they tried to strictly use, like, practical, like, they used, like, a shark dummy or something, or, like a...
Like a mechanical
yeah,
shark.
like a mechanical shark to show, like, and it looked really good. Mm-hmm. So I was impressed with the effects. They I feel like they kind of hold up.
Mm-hmm.
So
Definitely.
I was impressed. Anyway, review time. So
Review time for reviews.
This person said, glad sharks aren't real.
That's not how that works.
That is not true, unfortunately. Someone said, the great white, nope. And then someone said, reminds me of Shark Tale, 2004, which I don't agree with.
What?
Oh, and this one says, the tragic story of a bunch of alcoholics who hunt down and murder a fish for the crime of being really hungry. I guess that sums up.
In a weird way, from the shark's perspective, yes.
This one said, this guy gave it 4.5 stars and said, fuck them kids. Great white shark, probably. Like, the quote is fuck them kids. And it was said by the great white shark. Oh, this is sad but true. Someone said, capitalism is a machine that will eat our children with far more ease than any shark. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. That is true. Mm-hmm. That kind of happened in this movie.
Just did the Jaws theme by accident.
Yeah. So, this person rated it 3 stars and said, if we're being honest, that shark did nothing wrong. Okay, so she ate a few people, and what about it? She's just a bit rowdy. Oh, and then this one said, they really should have used a bigger boat.
Yeah, just a little bit.
That was so frustrating. Is like that. Well, I mean, I guess it was explained why he didn't want any help, the fisherman.
But you were snoozing, so you didn't hear that.
Yeah, so I didn't hear that. But, like, he really could have just gotten another ship and, like, had a way easier time just killing the shark.
Yeah, just get the Coast Guard.
Like, they really just did it the most complicated way, which I guess there wouldn't be a movie if they didn't do it in the most complicated way, but really did. Oh, someone said, I wish... Someone said, watching the dolly zoom on an IMAX screen allowed my soul to transcend to the astral plane. The movie of the summer, parentheses, again. Mm-hmm. That would be really cool to see that in an IMAX movie, an IMAX theater. That would have been really cool. Someone said, this is a really great metaphor for COVID. I don't know what they really mean by that, if I'm being honest.
Don't go anywhere, I guess?
I have no idea what that means. I would like further clarification upon that, but...
Okay.
Okay, this one says, if the Babadook is a gay icon, then so is Jaws. Big mouth, stunt queen, kills heterosexuals, just wants to be left alone to eat. Okay, this one is random. This one says, Trump isn't the mayor. He's the guy who's dumb enough to go in the water, then pushes the kids off their raft to steal it and paddle back to the shore in terror. Oh, that did happen. That did happen. Someone said, unpopular take, but the second half was boring as shit. And also, the shark has never done anything wrong in her life, ever.
Okay, well, first off, she just comes up and just eats everyone. What do you mean? Sure, she doesn't know what she's doing, but still, she's a shark.
She's just a hungry girl. Someone said, who will win? A bunch of drunk, angry white men or one hungry boy? Someone said, the most important part of horror is restraint. This film is perfect.
Mm-hmm. Well, that's partly because the shark actually didn't work most of the time.
I did hear that. I heard that they tried to limit the amount of time the shark was shown. Mm-hmm. And I think it built more suspense because you didn't know what the shark looked like until, like, later on.
Yeah.
Someone said, my review of this movie is that it is the movie Jaws.
That is true.
That's a great, good job.
And there shouldn't have been sequels.
There's sequels?
There's many sequels.
Oh, why is it? Because, like, they didn't actually show the shark dying?
No, they just made sequels because they want money.
That sounds like the capitalism in the movie. Someone said, the shark was excellent. Best performance of the movie. Too bad he couldn't get any other roles after this one.
Yeah, poor guy. Got blown up.
He did get blown up. A lot of people are saying the shark did nothing wrong. Someone said, I would have tried to befriend the shark, but that's just me. I think if you tried to befriend the shark, you would...
you would become fish tacos.
Yes. inside of a shark's stomach.
Yes.
Yes. What else? These are some long reviews. Someone said, the cure to capitalism is boating with the boys. I guess that's fair. And then this review just says, I saw Jaws.
Good job.
Congrats,
you
me
have
too.
Eyes.
This is my first time, so. Oh, someone said, the wife in this is so real. I love her so much. Which, I guess, she's real. She's a real
person.
Someone said, fishing trip with the lads. Definitely gonna need a bigger boat next time, though. Thumbs up. Someone said, I'm just saying, if I was on that boat, it would have gone down differently. That's what they all say, huh?
What, the boat itself, or?
No, like, if he was on the boat, nothing would have happened. Someone said, free my boy. He did nothing wrong. Someone said, watched with pizza after a long beach day. That sounds nice.
You better be going home afterwards, though, because you don't want to go on the beach again.
Someone said, it might be a colossal cliche, but this is required viewing late at night while on vacation at the beach.
Just don't go in the water.
Someone said, oh, Quint deserved better.
Quint died like his fellow men.
Quint, I think, took on a little bit more than he could chew. Someone said, I feel like I was a bit too drunk to properly review this one, but I had a blast hanging with Jason and a bunch of my other friends for an outdoor movie night. Okay, that was...
we all know who Jason is.
Yeah, totally. I'm so glad you could watch that movie with Jason. Wait, does he mean Jason?
Dun dun dun.
From...
Friday the 13th?
Yes. I don't think I've seen that movie, actually.
I haven't either. I've seen one snippet.
Wow. We're both... This is So Steven can't show me that movie because he hasn't seen it yet.
No.
Someone said, I cannot believe this is my first Spielberg movie. Shark was kind of cute, though. Someone said, if no review needed. If you haven't seen Jaws, you're dead to me.
Well, now you're not dead to me.
Yes. So now I've seen it, so I'm not dead to that guy either. Someone said, I wish they used CGI for the shark, or at least the boat.
Do you know it came out in 1975?
I'm kind of glad that they didn't use CGI, actually.
Yeah.
I feel like it was cooler that they used special effects. Someone said, Jaws is amazing. I was on edge the whole time. People say the shark looks fake, but when you're really drawn into it, you don't notice. I didn't.
Mm-hmm.
I thought it looked realistic.
Mm-hmm.
I actually didn't really, they don't really show it that much.
Just the only thing is, the mouth.
Yeah, the
how
mouth.
It moves. That's the only thing.
That's true. But I think it was, I think, the person, the person said, I was, into the movie, so I didn't really think about it.
Yeah, this is a movie you settle into. After, the first half, you just kind of chill out and watch it. And
yeah.
That's it. Which is what I did.
It was good. Someone said, a movie that made me genuinely proud to be from Massachusetts. Because the movie takes place in Massachusetts.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah, someone said, a classic piece of cinematography. Some pieces look dated now, but the film still holds up as a great piece of storytelling.
Yep.
I think I agree with that.
Yep. A lot of just one shots, and it's very nice to watch.
This review's funny. Someone said, not once but twice we see people who are aware of the very big, very hungry shark nearby get drunk as fuck on a boat in the middle of the ocean. Bitches, you are in mortal danger. That is true. That is so true. Actually, I don't know if you've seen, apparently in the news there was a shark attack recently in off the coast of Egypt, and it was filmed, and I watched it.
Oh.
I saw it on Twitter, and Twitter, nothing's really censored on Twitter.
I don't use Twitter.
Oh yeah, me either. My friend showed it to me, but I saw the shark attack, and I didn't see it because it was in the water, but supposedly the guy's legs come out of the ocean, and apparently that's he was bitten in half, and his legs were yeah.
Okay.
Anyway, so
Thanks
that
for
was kind of like Jaws.
Story. That was fun.
Sorry, that was some lighthearted reviews and then a really dark, sad.
It just, we're going up and then we went right on down.
And on that note, I think that we should call it here. So thank you for tuning in to this episode of Steven Shows Myah Movies. And once again, please let us know if you would like the title to be shortened to S2M2 or SSM. Anyway, thank you for watching, and we'll catch you in the next episode.
But they might not after what you just said.
Yeah, this might be blocked and demonetized. Not that we make money off these, because we don't. But anyway, sorry. Have a good night.
Bye. just bring up that story.
I don't know. I thought it would be like.
You thought it'd be fun?
I thought it would like tie into the theme of Jaws.
I mean, it
I was
did.
like, haha, Jaws isn't so abnormal after all. Like, this is real. It happens in real life.
Okay. All right. Okay. Oh, we need to shut up. Yeah, shut up.